She stood in my driveway holding a bright yellow paper like she had just won a prize. Before I could even ask what she wanted, she taped it to my front door and smiled. $500. Payable in 10 days, she said. Too many vehicles. Too much noise. Too many visitors. Your family broke HOA rules. I looked past her at the 3 cars parked outside. My parents had driven 4 hours to celebrate my son's birthday. My sister had arrived that morning with her husband and kids. It was the first time our whole family had been together in almost 2 years. They're leaving tonight, I said calmly. It's one birthday. She folded her arms. I don't care if it's Christmas or a funeral. Rules are rules, my little boy heard. Every word while standing behind the screen door with a birthday balloon in his hand. The smile disappeared from his face. I picked up the notice and read every line. Something felt strange. It claimed neighbors had filed multiple complaints about traffic, loud music, and dangerous parking. None of it was true. We weren't even playing music outside. The kids were in the backyard eating cake while my dad grilled burgers. Every car was parked legally. I asked her which neighbors had complained. She laughed. That's confidential. Just pay the fine before it doubles. Then she leaned closer and quietly said, Maybe next time don't invite your whole town. My father stepped outside after hearing that. He had spent 24 years in the army, but he simply put a hand on my shoulder and whispered, Don't lose your temper. People like this want that. She walked away looking pleased with herself, but something caught my eye. Across the street, my neighbor Tom was standing beside his mailbox, shaking his head. As soon as the HOA woman drove off, he came over. Nobody complained, he said in a low voice. In fact, most of us liked seeing your family together. He looked around to make sure nobody was watching before adding, You're not the first person she's done this to. But this time she made a mistake. I frowned. What mistake? Tom glanced toward the small camera above my garage, then back at me. Because this morning, before your family even arrived, she was already taking pictures of your house. My stomach tightened. If she had prepared the fine before anyone visited, then this had never been about breaking rules. It had been personal, and I had no idea why. She had planned this long before my family arrived. That thought stayed in my head all night. After everyone went home, I downloaded the footage from my security cameras. Tom was right. At 8:14 that morning, the HOA president slowly walked around my property, taking pictures before a single guest had arrived. Then she placed a few orange warning stickers on the curb, took more photos from different angles, and quietly removed the stickers before driving away. She had created her own evidence. The next morning, I requested every document connected to my fine. I also asked for the names of the neighbors who had supposedly complained. Instead of answering, the HOA sent me another letter. This time the fine had doubled because I had failed to cooperate. That was the moment I stopped, trying to solve the problem quietly. A week later, I attended the HOA board meeting. The room was packed because several neighbors had received strange fines that month. The OA president smiled as I walked in. If you're here to argue, she said, you're wasting everyone's time. I didn't answer. I connected my laptop to the projector. The first video showed her photographing my house hours before my family arrived. The second showed her placing warning stickers herself. The room became completely silent. Then I played another clip from Tom's camera across the street. It showed her telling another board member, I'll make sure he pays one way or another. Faces around the room changed. Even the other board members looked shocked. She quickly claimed the videos were edited, but nobody believed her. She thought the meeting would end there, but another surprise was waiting. 3 families stood up one after another. Each had received nearly identical fines after birthdays, graduations, or holiday dinners. One retired Marine held up a folder filled with letters and photos. A young couple showed screenshots, proving their complaints had been filed before the events even happened. Suddenly, the board realized this wasn't one mistake. It was a pattern. One board member quietly admitted that many fines had never been reviewed. The HOA president had approved them herself. Her confidence disappeared for the first time. The board voted to pause every fine she had issued during the past year. She tried to leave before the meeting ended, but 2 police officers walked inside. They had been contacted. After several homeowners filed reports about falsified documents and possible fraud, the officers asked her to stay for questioning. She kept insisting she had authority, but authority doesn't protect anyone who breaks the law. As she was escorted outside, neighbors watched through the windows in complete silence. The woman who always threatened everyone suddenly had no control at all. Over the next few weeks, investigators uncovered more problems. HOA money had been spent on personal expenses. Fake violation notices had been sent to pressure homeowners into paying quickly. Several records had been changed after people challenged their fines. The HOA's insurance company refused to defend those actions. The board removed her from her position, and she was later ordered to repay thousands of dollars. Several homeowners, including me, received full refunds. Some even received additional compensation after settling their claims. Just when I thought everything was over, another twist came. The county reviewed the HOA's enforcement process because of the investigation. New rules required every future violation to include verified evidence, board approval, and a homeowner hearing before any fine could be issued. The system she had abused for years was completely rebuilt because she pushed one family too far. A month later, we held another family barbecue. This time the driveway was even fuller than before. Neighbors brought desserts. Children played basketball in the street, and Tom laughed as he flipped burgers beside my dad. Nobody worried about cameras or fake notices anymore. My son looked at me and asked, "Dad, are we allowed to have everyone here now?" I smiled and handed him another balloon. We always were. That yellow paper was supposed to scare us into staying quiet. Instead, it exposed years of abuse and brought an entire neighborhood together. The HOA president thought she was punishing one family for having visitors. In the end, she lost her position, her reputation, and her power. Sometimes the biggest mistake a bully can make is picking the one person who refuses to stay silent.